Hi, and welcome back to the Scarlet and Gray Breakdown, where we provide you with the latest and upcoming news. For your breakdown today, we have two games that are flooding the market and driving the gaming universe crazy. Those two games in question, Hangman and War. As always, we have provided you with exclusive interviews with both game developers. So first off, I have an exclusive interview with the game developer of Hangman, Mr. Michael Chapman. Morning, Michael.
Morning, Parker. Thanks for having me on the show today.
No, thank you for taking your time to interview. So we have a couple of questions from our viewers. First off, why did you choose to create Hangman?
Well, first off, I just thought Hangman would be a fun game for me to create from a design standpoint. I really enjoy programming in MATLAB. I think just the logic of Hangman, all the loops that are required, it's just something that really appealed to me. Also, I thought from a consumer standpoint, it would be a fun game for a lot of people to just pick up and play. Everybody can play Hangman. It's a pretty easy game to play. Also, it's a game that can be played by yourself. You don't really need a large group of people to play it. Only requires one person.
Cool. So can you give us a brief description of how you play Hangman?
Well, in our Hangman game, the game starts with the computer randomly generating a word from a set word list that we have within our game. From there is the player's objective to correctly guess all the letters that comprise that randomly generated word. For each incorrect guess they make, a limb is added to the Hangman figure, and the game repeats until either the player correctly guesses the word or all the limbs are added to the Hangman.
Very cool. So why should viewers buy this game?
Well, again, in our game, the computer randomly generates the word, and this fact just makes the game easily. It adds a lot of replay value to our game, since the game is different each time a player decides to go through the whole process of playing the game. Also, within our game, we have graphics and music that change as the game progresses, and that just adds a lot of fun to the game. I think it's just something that's going to appeal to a lot of consumers. Especially the graphics. They change as the game progresses. So if they incorrectly guess a letter, a limb is added to the Hangman, and that changes as the game progresses. Also, it's a game that can be played quickly. I'd say at a maximum, the game plays it only takes about, I'd say, a minute or two to play, and then once you're done, they can just get straight back into another game from there.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you again, Michael, for coming in.
Thank you, Parker.
It was a pleasure having you. And,
thank you.
I hope our viewers enjoyed it. Next up, I have an exclusive interview with the producer of War, Mr. Casey VanCauwenbergh. Morning, Casey.
Morning, Parker. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming in for this interview. So, first off, we have a couple of questions from our viewers.
Of course.
Why did you choose to create War?
I created War because it's a game I've always loved. I remember playing it when I was younger with my brother. Saturday nights, we'd sit down with family, play games like that. And War was one of my favorites. It's also a game that I thought would be really easy for kids of all ages to play. Young kids can play it because it's not a complicated game. College kids can play it when they get bored in lecture. I didn't say that. It's just easy for all kids, I feel like.
All right, cool. So, another question. Can you give us a brief description of how you play War?
Yeah, so War is a game where you just take a regular 52-card deck, you split it up between two players, and you just take the top card, flip it over, and whatever card's higher, that person gets both cards. If they flip over the same value, like 2 sevens, then each player will put 3 more cards down. The last card is the one you use, and whichever one's higher, that person gets the deck. And you just keep going until the cards aren't the same.
Right. So, why should our viewers buy this game?
Well, I made this game free because it is a game I love and I want everyone to be able to play it. So they don't have to buy it. But I do believe people should invest in it because it is a fun game, like I mentioned earlier. I also added some graphics. So the cards flip over truly, and you can see where they go. So it feels as if you're actually playing War and not playing on a computer. Also, War is a game that's different every time you play it. So it's not like you get the exact same cards every time. Different outcomes can happen. So it's continually exciting to play.
Well, thank you, Casey, for coming in.
I
It was a
appreciate
pleasure
it.
having you. Next, we're going live to our field journalist, Aileen Hall, who is going to give you a live close-up feed of the Gaming Expo.
Thank you, Parker. And I'm coming to you live now from the Gaming Expo, where I found a demonstration for the War and Hangman games.
So to start Hangman, as you can see, the computer randomly generated a word, and here in the variable word progress, all the spaces that represent each letter in the word are shown. So to start, we hit A key to continue. The program asks us to input a letter, so we'll start by inputting all the vowels. So we'll start with A. As you can see, the letter A pops up here because our guess was correct. So we'll start with more vowels, E, and our guess is incorrect, so a limb was added to the hangman figure. I, O, O is correct guess, that gets added to word progress. So B, we'll just repeat this process until either I correctly guess the word or the game, or I don't correctly guess the word. So unfortunately, I didn't correctly guess the word. The correct word was coach. So the game asked me if I would like to play again. For the sake of this demonstration, I will say no, and the goodbye message is printed.
To start the game, the player is prompted to type play and hit enter. And now each player has 26 cards in their hands, and it says to click the spacebar to flip the next card, and this will display a graphic of the cards being played, and every time this happens, the number of cards in each hand is changed depending on which card value was higher, and the player keeps doing this until someone runs out of cards. And occasionally, if the cards have the same value, a war will happen, and the two end cards are the cards that go up against each other for the value. And the player just keeps doing this until someone runs out. This is Aileen from the Scarlet and Gray Breakdown. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time for your daily breakdown.